Ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it live once again. Let me make sure my mic is turned up because this is going to be powerful. Sean White coming back to you here live where all the magic happens, aka Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome once again, guys. And it's just, I tell you, I feel real good. Real good. Well, before we go ahead and jump off, I just want to go ahead and say this, guys, that this has been an amazing journey. And I want to go ahead, before we even jump into as far as this amazing interview, that this is going to be a special announcement because as a partner and CEO of the Small Business Network, along with my partner, Dr. James McConnell, we want to open an invitation to all entrepreneurs, those individuals that would like to either talk about their careers or talk about themselves or family. This would be an opportunity for you to come on board and get interviewed by yours truly. And it is something that I can tell you from previous experience when I had that opportunity. I tell you, it makes a tremendous difference. So once again, if you're interested, by all means, please feel free to reach out to me and let's go ahead and make it happen. But tonight, guys, here on the Transformation Greatness series hosted by yours truly, Sean White, in which on this segment is all about motivating, encouraging, and inspiring the masses. I get to go one-on-one with someone that's going to be one of the speakers on the third annual Healing Summit. That's going to be kicking off December 2nd to the 4th. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, you need to go ahead and holler at me because it's going to be something amazing. My guest tonight is someone, she's going to be one of the speakers, as I mentioned, and this young lady here, I really want you to find out more about her because she is someone in which I found to be very fascinating. And I was like, wow, wouldn't it be cool as far as to really get an opportunity to really connect with her and learn more about her story. So I'm just waiting here for her to come on board. And I don't know where she's at here, but we're going to go ahead and try this again. And we're going to go ahead and get this rocking and rolling. So do me a favor, if you will, guys. As you're catching this live, put in hashtag live. Let me know exactly where you're tuning in from. And if you're catching this on the replay, go ahead and put in the same thing. And if you know me, I'm just a fan that I love as far as with dialogue, versus a monologue. Don't get me wrong. I can sit here and I can talk to you all day long, but I like the engagement, right? I like to learn from your perspectives. I like to know as far as what's going on, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, right? If this is even resonating with you, I'm just that kind of person. I'm just a people person. So I'm waiting for my guests to tune on board, and we're gonna just find out more about her and really her story, right? What inspired her to really become an entrepreneur and all that good stuff. And if you know me, if you've been seeing like the past interviews, like a lot of the topics and the guests that I had, it has been very informational, very inspirational. So I done had from speakers, healers, therapists, experts in their craft. I even had doctors. Come on, guys. If you know my story and where I came from, I'm not even supposed to be doing this, but by the grace of God and by the calling that's been set upon my life, this is something which, quite frankly, it's a passion. I really can't see myself doing anything else, to be honest with you. So, Latrea, I'm waiting on her. I don't know where she's at. Maybe as far as she's hiding, maybe she's a little timid. I don't know, but but come on down. It is your turn. If you haven't watched, as far as the interview from yesterday with Carrie Irene Crosby, I highly recommend for you to check that out, guys. It was something, we had a lot of fun on that, and it was just very cool. So just waiting for my guests to come on board, guys. So if you want to go ahead and just get yourself some water or some tea and come on back, I assure you this is going to be amazing. So we have here Carrie here in the house. We have Dr. James, my partner in the house. Good brother, by the way, too, man. And we have here the poet, the wordsmith himself, Mr. Pierre Ingram, just doing amazing and powerful things. Excellent. Carrie, if you can do me a favor, if you can reach out to Latrea. I don't know what's going on here. She said that she's ready, but I don't see her, and I even tagged her, and I don't know what's going on. So I'm not quite too sure on if she got the invite. I'm pretty sure that she has, but I'm gonna go ahead and try again because you know how it is, right? We don't want to keep the people waiting, so so let's see. Okay, perfect. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So while we're waiting for the star of the show to arrive, guys, just let me know what's been going on for you this week. What's the vibe been like? Talk to me, family. Talk to me now. Talk to me. Again, I mean, I can talk to you till the cows come home. If you want me to sing you a Barry White song, I can do that. But I want to know as far as what's going on with you guys while we're waiting for the star of the show to arrive. Talk to me. So we have here Team Faith is in the building. Team Georgia, welcome, welcome, my sister. I definitely appreciate you. By the way, I gotta talk to you about something too. So, but we're definitely gonna talk. Here she goes. She's popping up here as far as my phone. So let's go ahead and make this happen, guys. So here we go. Here we go. We have the show, and with the power of technology, I believe that here we go. Bam.
So I'm trying to find a place to put this. Hold on 1 second. Because I've never done it this way before. So let me see if I can find a way to put this up here.
Okay. By the way, guys, just to go ahead and let you know, this is real and authentic. This is not scripted or edited. So this is live here, guys, live. So, ladies and gentlemen, so with no further ado, we have the one and only Latrea Anita Russ here in the building. And like I mentioned, she is a speaker as far as on the third annual Healing Summit, hosted by Carrie Crosby and also Jeffrey Berger. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you can do me a favor, please welcome Latrea. Hello
Hello.
there.
Hello. How's everyone doing? Please excuse my voice. I'm just getting over a cold or whatever this crazy thing that's been going around. Everybody's been sick lately. Um, the cold or flu. I don't know what it is, but I'm just now getting over it. So please excuse my voice. As a matter of fact, let me take a little sip of water here.
It is all good. It is all good. I mean, this is definitely that season, but you know what though? We still show up and we make it happen.
We do. We do.
We still make it happen. So let's go ahead and get started and have some fun here. So for the listening audience, if you can just introduce yourself and just tell them a little bit about who you are.
Okay. Well, my name is Latrea Anita Russ. I am a disabilities empowerment coach.
Ooh.
Now, for those of you that don't know what a disabilities empowerment coach is, don't feel bad because I didn't know it first either. Um, a disabilities empowerment coach is a coach that works within the disability community. And what I basically do is I empower people with disabilities. I empower them to reach above the limit that society has set for them. A lot of times, people with disabilities feel trapped, or they feel stuck, or they feel like they don't have a purpose, or they don't have a reason for being here, or various different things they have going on, just based on some of the things that they've gone through and some of the things that society has told them. So what I do is I give them the skills and techniques to move past what society has told them or move past whatever limitations they may be dealing with. I work with adults. I work with young adults. When I say young adults, I'm talking about the age range of maybe 19 to 24. Those adults that are looking for independence. They're looking to move out of maybe mom and dad's house. They're looking to do that, oh gosh, with independent living. So I do
Mhm.
independent living skills with them. Um, I also work with parents of children that happen to have disabilities as well, because I have a child that has ADHD as well as some mental issues going on, and some mental things going on as well. So I can come from the perspective of understanding what it's like to have a child that has a disability. I also work children on a day-to-day basis that have various disabilities. So I can kind of understand, what they're like to be in that realm. I've been doing this since 2014. Let's see what else. I am disabled. I want to mention that because a lot of times people tell me that they can't tell. I don't know how, but they tell me they can't tell. Um, I'm visually impaired, hearing impaired. Um, I was born with a rare genetic syndrome called Pfeiffer syndrome. And what Pfeiffer syndrome is, it's a chromosomal mutational disability. And what happens is your chromosomes don't mutate properly, which causes the bones in your body to not fuse properly. See, when you're born, your bones are supposed to fuse a certain way to protect certain parts of your body.
Right.
Now, see, my bones did not fuse properly in my skull. So what happened was, well, when I was born, two things happened. Number one, I didn't have enough bone in my skull to cover my brain. Number two, I didn't have any stems. Now, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the brain, but I'm gonna try to educate you the best I can. You have stems that's connected to your skull. And what the stems do is the stems lift the skull up off of the brain. So what happens is if you don't have those stems, you're born like this is your brain right here. So you're the skull practically sitting on top of your brain. Because the stems is what keeps it off of your brain.
Right.
So me, I didn't have enough stems to go around to keep the skull off of the brain. So when I was born with what they call hyposyphilis. And hyposyphilis is basically just pressure on the brain. Just pressure, the skull having pressure on the brain. I was given a life expectancy of 9. As you can see, I'm well past 9.
Amen.
The life expectancy I was given was 35. I will be 44 in February. So you can't tell me God ain't good. Tell me God ain't a healer. Can't tell me God ain't a waymaker. You can't tell me God. You can't tell me nothing about God. Okay. I made a joke the other day on my Facebook page about, I said, the devil must be really sick of me. Because every time he's ever tried to knock me down, I just keep getting back up. And getting back up. And getting back up. And getting back up. I said, I know he's sick of me. I just know he is sick of me. I've been through a lot of different things in my life. I was born to drug addicted parents. My mother was addicted to crack. My dad was an alcoholic. Um, I was in foster care at the age of 12, so I bounced around from different home to home to home, where I had suffered a large amount of abuse or what have you. So, I was bullied. I was picked on in school because I didn't look like everybody else.
Right.
That I spent a large majority of my life in the hospital. I've had 35, 45 different operations, like operations that they didn't think I was going to come out of, like operations where I've gone into surgery on 10 o'clock in the morning on one day and did not come out of surgery until 2 o'clock in the morning the next day.
Wow.
Yeah. So, when I say God is good, God is good. God. When I say he's a healer, he's a deliverer, and he's a waymaker, trust and believe he is all of that.
Absolutely.
Okay? And I believe that my purpose here, I believe that is why I'm here, because I have a purpose. Because if I didn't, he could have took me out a long time ago. And that's what I tell people. You're walking, you're talking, you're breathing, you're alive for a reason. You're not just here because God didn't have nothing else to do. You're not just here because God decided, oops, I made a mistake. No, you're not an oops. You're not a mistake. You're here for a purpose and a reason. And it's up to you to try to figure it out and discover what that purpose and what that reason is.
You know what? That's very powerful too. And you actually one of the questions I like to ask a lot of my guests is that what inspired them really to become an entrepreneur? And you pretty much already you mentioned that, but I guess if you can go in just a little bit deeper, because based upon everything in which that you went through, you could have just said, you know what, I'm going through this, right? I'm overcoming it, and I don't want to share with nobody, right? This is my own personal thing. So what was it? What was the indicator, right, that made you say, you know what, I want to become an entrepreneur because this is something that can help so many people. Like, I'm gonna give you a quick example. Like, as far as for myself, and I talk about this a lot, right? I was at my lowest point about 6 years ago. 6 years ago, excuse me. I was homeless. I mean, painless, broken, financially, spiritually, every which way around. But through divine intervention, I was granted as far as the gift of speaking and also with the brand of transformation greatness. So with that being said, at what point that you say, you know what, I want to become an entrepreneur and I want to become a disability empowerment coach?
Because I feel like, and I tell people this all the time, I feel like nothing, and I believe nothing that I have gone through in my life was for me. It had nothing to do with Latrea. It had nothing to do, but it had everything to do with the people that are coming behind me.
Mm.
Everything to do with the people that are going to follow me. It had everything to do with the people's lives that I've been called to touch. See, in order for me to touch or eradicate the change that God has called me to do, I had to go through some things. I had to deal with some things. I had to go through some valleys. I had to go through some mountains. I had to climb some mountains. I had to go through some things.
Right.
And I say that now, even going through now. You know what I'm saying? Even going through now. I say that, and every morning I get up and I say, you know what? The battle is not mine.
That's right.
So I don't take it personal. I just say, you know what, Lord? You're going to put somebody in my path that's going to need what I have. You're going to put somebody in my path that's going to need what I have. And that's why I decided to share, because it wasn't about me. It's just like my life has nothing to do with me. It's everything to do with me showing somebody else, look, there's another side to this. Yeah, I might be going through X, Y, Z right now, but there's another side to this. There's another side to this thing. I mean, and when you get to the other side, man, the view is gorgeous. But you got to keep pushing to get to that other side. So
So let
that's
me
why I to become an entrepreneur. Because I don't feel like anything that I've gone through is for me. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just the vessel God chose. He could have chose anybody, but he just so chose me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? I most certainly commend you. And I'm pretty sure everyone else here in the listening audience, regardless of whether you're an entrepreneur or not, can most certainly, relate as far as everything in which that you're going through in terms of, the inner battle, in terms of, constantly, showing up, getting knocked down, showing up, getting knocked down, showing up, getting knocked down, and yet you're still overcoming that, and you're still showing up and realizing and recognizing that, you know what, in spite of everything which I'm going through, it's not about me. It never was me, right? That it's really about helping people really understanding, of how precious life is. And I'm sensing something here, Latrea, because there's going to be individuals that's going to watch this, if not later on tonight, then in the near future. And they're going to be saying to themselves, well, okay, that sounds great, right? I hear exactly what you're saying, but I didn't have that type of life, right?
Right.
I didn't endure half of the stuff in which that you're talking about. I cannot relate to what you're even saying, right? But I got so much of this going on. I got so much of that going on. And, I want to become an entrepreneur, right? And yet, it's scary, right? And it's like, I see everybody doing this and it looks glamorous and it's like, they make it look so easy, but I don't think I have what it takes. I want you for a few moments, I want you to talk to the camera. And what would you say to that individual if they were right in front of you echoing those same words? I want you to talk to the camera.
If it's in your heart, then you're meant to do it. Yeah, by no stretch of the imagination am I going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that this entrepreneur walk is an easy walk. Because there are going to be some days when you're going to be questioning yourself. There are going to be some days when you're going to be questioning if you heard God correctly. There are going to be some days that you're going to want to throw everything in the trash. Trust me, I know I've been there. And then there are going to be some days, there will be some times when you might have to pick up an extra 9 to 5 because it's not taking off like you want it to, or you're not having the support that you felt like you should or you thought you would. But if it's in your heart and it's in your spirit, it's a spiritual thing. It's
Mm.
not something that you just go out there and decide to do. Not everybody can be an entrepreneur. This is something that your spirit has to be called to. And you know how you know if your spirit is called to it? Because when you want to give up, you can't. And I promise you, there have been, look, I'm trying to tell you, there have been so many days where I've been like, you know what? Ain't nobody listening to me. Ain't nobody paying attention to me. I give up. I'm done. I'm done with it. But it was something inside of me. It was something inside of me that just would not let me do it. And that's why I say it's a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual calling. Not everybody is made for this. This is not an easy. This is not an easy walk. It's it's a lot easier to go out there and work for somebody. I ain't gonna lie. It's a lot easier. You
Mhm.
know, it is. But if you don't answer that call, you're gonna always wonder what if. And that call is gonna become like a nagging sensation. And it's gonna nag at you and nag at you and nag at you and nag at you and nag at you.
Right, right.
And you can always say, well, I don't want to do it because it's hard. Okay, well, anything worth having is worth working for.
I agree.
Anything worth having is worth working for. Anything in this world worth having, you're going to have to put some work behind it. And
Absolutely.
the word tells us that faith without works is dead. So you can have all the faith in the world, but you got to put some work behind that. You're going to have to put some lonely nights. And yeah, it's going to be some lonely nights because not everybody's going to understand your vision. Not everybody's going to understand what God told you. Because and this is the thing, a lot of times, God will download stuff into us, but He won't tell nobody else because
Mm.
it fits specifically for us. So nobody else may not understand your vision. Nobody else may not understand what you're trying to do. And that's okay. Don't let that derail you. Because see, so many times we want a cheerleading group. We want people that's going to cheer us on and tell us we're doing the right thing and tell us we're going the right direction. Sometimes in this entrepreneur life, you're not going to have that. There's going to be some times when you want to walk this road by yourself. And all you're going to have is you and God. And you just have to trust Him and let Him lead you and trust that He's leading you the right way. You're
I
not
feel.
going to have a cheerleading squad. You're not always going to have that pat on the back. You're not always going to have that great job. You're not always going to have that. So that is why it is so important that if you so decide to do the entrepreneurial thing, that you know that you know that you know that you are called to do it.
Well said. Well said. And something I couldn't agree with you more. This is something which that my business partner, me and Dr. James, we constantly talk about. We have like powwows and we just really just be talking about not only business but also life as well, and also with the mindset. That's what you're talking about, but it goes deeper than the mindset as well. Just like you mentioned, it's something in which that you have to be called to do. You have to have that inner passion, because you are correct. There's going to be days and times where you may not just be feeling it, or like you put in the work in and you're like, I'm not, either seeing the results, or people are not really, supporting me. But you have to be your number one cheerleader, and in spite of all that, you still have to bust through, because you have to understand and know that you have been called to do it. And guess what? It's your job and your obligation and responsibility to get it done, point
Right,
blank, period.
right,
So that's definitely a great point. I want to go ahead and transition over to the third annual Healing Summit, right?
right.
Woo! What can people expect from that summit, Latrea? What can they
So there,
expect?
first of all, the lot of speakers, just a lot of them speakers. It's gonna be fire. Just based off the lineup itself, it's gonna be
Yep.
fire. Um, I guess I'll give you a little synopsis of what I'll be talking about. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. I'm gonna be talking about mental health within the African American community, as the focus is on children, and that is not something that we hear a lot about. That's not something that we actually talk a lot about. I had a recent experience with my daughter that I'll be sharing a little bit about in my speech, and it made me look at mental health different for children. And I went and did some research, and I will share this statistic with you. According to what I read, um, African American children are 5 times more likely to experience mental illness than our Caucasian counterparts.
Mm,
And just due to just environmental factors, due
right,
to just I mean on a whole, just environmental factors.
right.
And it blew my mind that they were 5 times more likely to experience PTSD. They were 5 times more likely to experience depression, anxiety, just basic mental health issues.
Right, right.
Like, wow. But then I guess for me, my question was always, okay, so you have a child that's going through this. Where are the parents?
Great question.
Where are the parents? But then I always go back to what somebody once told me. You can't give somebody something that you never had. So if they've never had it, how can they give it to their children? So if they've never had the conversation about mental health and about feelings and emotions and things like that, how can they provide that to their children?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But for me, I guess in my mind, I look at it in the sense of even though you never had it, and even though you never experienced that yourself, for your child, you owe it to your child to figure it out. You owe it to your child to look up and find resources and find ways to work it out. You owe
Mm,
that to your child. And we can
absolutely.
no longer rest on the excuses of, well, I didn't have that. I didn't have this and I didn't have that. I didn't have this growing. I didn't have that growing up. And that's and that I'm not throwing shade on that because that's true.
Right.
But as a parent, there comes a time when we lay that down, what we didn't have, and we go and we make it better for our children. Because each generation should get better and better and better and better.
I agree.
And we should not continue to say, well, my mother didn't teach me, so I'm not going to teach my kids.
Right,
And my mother didn't teach me, so I'm not going to teach my kids, and so on and so forth. And
right,
we'll have
right.
a generation of children or that become adults that are walking around here just mentally out of sorts. Because
Mm,
they get the proper guidance and the proper things that they needed as a child. All because their parents rested on the excuse of, well, I didn't have it as a child. So I don't know how to pass it on to my child. I can't pass on something that I didn't have. Which and I don't mean to say it's an excuse because to me that sounds kind of hard. But I guess I don't have a better word for it. So for me, it's one of those things like, okay, you didn't have it as a child, you didn't have it growing up, but why are you preventing it? What's preventing you from giving it to your children?
Well said. Well said. And you know what? I mean, if that was a snippet, then I can't wait to hear the whole presentation on the summit. It is going to be amazing, guys. It really, really is. And you know, Senator Latrea, I thank you so much, right? And this is why the Transformation Greatness series, was in fact birthed. And this is the reason why that the divine, I guess, divine, correction or whatever you want to call it. It's why, myself, I was able to connect with Dr. James for situations like this, right? To give people an opportunity, those that have a voice, those that have a gift, a skill set. We know as entrepreneurs, as change agents, those that have something to offer, right, in this world, it's all about really having the avenues and having for people to give you a chance,
Right,
right? A
right,
lot of times, if you're not a celebrity or if you're not like at a certain level, you don't even get a second look, right? Or
right,
even a third look. But when Transformation Greatness Series and when Miss Hello Brains, hello there, Miss April, welcome, welcome. And when the third annual Healing Summit and when the Small Business Network and such other organizations and communities arise and give people an opportunity, it is something for you to take full advantage of
yeah,
because there are men and women out here that are suffering. There are
yeah,
men and women that are out here that are looking for opportunities for
yeah,
products and services, things in which they not only can benefit themselves, but benefit their communities as an entrepreneur, as someone that has the bridge, as someone that has that skill set, you have an obligation and a responsibility to go ahead and make that happen and to
right,
give people the opportunity.
right,
Now, I know there's some people that's going to be watching this that's going to probably be like, well, I don't agree with Sean is saying. Ain't really feeling that. Then you know what? Then that's fine. Then this message is not for you and you can go ahead and watch Netflix or do whatever you're doing. But for those that understand on what I'm saying, you get that. And you are doing that. And we most certainly commend you. Lateria, is there something in which that you would like to lead for the listener? Any final words, anything in which that you can offer that would be a healing moment? I mean, besides everything else which that you mentioned, because it was absolutely powerful.
um let's see, if I were to say something, your biggest target is yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You against you. And a lot of times we think that we're out here and we're fighting the world or we're fighting other people. No, you're fighting you. You're
Mm-hmm.
fighting you to be a better you every day. So every day you get up, you should strive to be 10 times better than what you were yesterday. And then 10 times better than what you were the day before. And so on, and so on, and so on. We should always be striving to be better than what we were. We should always be reading, learning, trying to master and understand how we can be better. Not perfect. Let me just clear that up. A lot of people will interpret that as perfect. No, I'm not saying perfect. I'm saying better. Meaning, when I say better, I mean we are better in what we're doing. We're better in how we're speaking to people. We're better in how we're engaging people. We're better in how we're communicating with people. We're better in our interaction. We're better in who we are, how we present ourselves. Each day, we should go out of our way to strive to be better in those areas. We should strive to be a better individual. Again, not a perfect individual, but a better individual. Our biggest competition is ourselves. And it should be. It should be. You should not be in competition with nobody else but the person staring back at you in the mirror. That is your competition. That is the person that you're supposed to be striving to be better than every day.
Mm, mm. Ladies and gentlemen, the third annual Healing Summit is going to be powerful. 9 speakers. We are going to come on there and we are going to blow it out the water. I know it's going to be some tear jerking. It's going to be some celebrating. It is going to be electric. So myself, Carrie, we have here Latrea, we have here Jeffrey, and many other speakers. It's going to come on board and we're going to bless you. And so, if you would like, as far as more information, more tickets to the, or how to get your tickets, please feel free to reach out to me. Don't be a stranger. Just go ahead and message me. If you have my contact number, please feel free to reach out to me as well. And also, please feel free to reach out and follow Latrea as well. Guys, I'm telling you, it's going to be a blessing. And also, one last thing, and then from there, we're going to go ahead and close it out. I said it earlier, and I'm going to say it again. For anybody, once again, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a career-oriented person, if you're someone that like to want to talk about your family, your life, and you want that opportunity, please reach out to me. I would love to have you here on this platform to give you the spotlight because that is something that I love doing. It's a passion of mine. And if you ask me, I can do it all day long and won't get tired of it. And so with that, on behalf of my guest, Latrea, I appreciate you so much. We are definitely going to keep
I,
in contact.
I am honored to have been to be a guest here. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And with that, I'm going to end this segment like I do all my others. And if what we stated on here either motivated, transformed, or inspired at one person, at least one person, then may God be the glory, and we take no credit for absolutely none of it. Until then, you're all amazing. Enjoy your up and coming weekend. And until we meet again, be blessed, family.
All right. Have a great night.
Take care, everyone.